Check. 1, 2, 3. Take action, make mistakes, make tons of mistakes, and let yourself learn. That is a message that I needed to remind myself this morning. There's a question that I've always struggled as a Christian, and that is, how can God use me? How can God use me? And I think the reason why I struggle so much with asking or answering this question is because I don't look to God, but I look to myself in trying to answer that question. How can God use me? Does David have the confidence? Does David have the abilities? Does he have the skills? Bro, when we ask the question, how can God use me? We should look not to ourselves, but to God in answering that question. And when we understand that God is an all-perfect, all-knowing being, all-powerful, and good in all of his ways, yes, of course, there is no doubt that God can use me. I think a better question for us Christians is, can I allow myself to be used by God? That is the question we need to be asking. The other day, I was filming the second podcast for this channel. And it was like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, guys. It was wild. I don't even know who was on camera because it was not me. Imagine if we just took all my personality, just threw it out the window because I was a nervous, anxious wreck. I was short of breath. I was shaking on camera. And the reason why the podcast didn't turn well is because I wasn't faithful in the moment. I was so worried how I looked on camera. I was so worried how I sounded. I was so worried what the viewers would see that I wasn't able to be focused and honed in on my guest. Shout out Senior Pastor. Thank you for giving your time, but I don't think we're going to be posting that episode. Just letting you know. Anyways, guys, the episode turned out bad. And it's not because of my guest, but it's because I wasn't able to let the conversation flow. I wasn't able to listen to him. I wasn't able to care for him in that moment, and I wasn't able to be present in the moment. And so when I understand that the podcast is not the product, but it's just the byproduct of me having an amazing conversation with my pastor, listening to him, caring for him, being present in the moment, when I focus on those things and surrender the rest to God, I can then allow myself to be faithful in the moment. And so wherever God places you in life, ask yourself, how can I be present in this moment? How can I care for the people and the things that he's placed before me? And how can I make sure that I have God fixed on my mind when I do any of these things or wherever I am? 3 things that I learned from shooting the podcast. Number 1, let go of expectations. I thought I was going to be like the best podcaster. I have this video of what the video was going to turn out to be. And the fact that it didn't turn out that way, the fact that I'm trying to control the message is the very reason why the conversation didn't flow. And so one thing that I need to understand is it's time to let go of those expectations because those expectations don't serve you. It doesn't allow me to be present in the moment. It doesn't allow me to care for the things that are in front of me because I'm thinking about the outcome and not thinking about how I can show up. Number 2, humility. I was talking to my senior pastor and he said, bro, Joe Rogan's been doing this 2,500 times. And you think that you're going to get it on the second try? He started laughing and he said, bro, it's time to put in the work, which is also what my junior high pastor said. He said it's time to log hours, put in the reps, put in the time. Because to get good at something, you need to do that one thing thousands of times. It's time to put in the hours, put in the reps, and put in the time. There's a famous saying called time to pound the rock. Because there's a story of this stone splitter, stone cutter, I don't know, stone masonry guy. He's trying to split this boulder in half, this massive boulder with this tiny hammer. And people are like, bro, you're not going to be able to do that. And he says, watch me. He hits the rock. Nothing happens. Second time, third time. People are laughing at him. People leave. He says, I'm going to be here until this thing splits. He hits it 60, 70, 99 times. The rock doesn't split. Finally, on the 100th swing, he gets all of his might. Boop. Rock splits in half. And so the conclusion that we can't be making from that story is that on the 100th swing, or that one swing is what made the rock split. But in reality, for him to get to the 100th swing, he needed to swing 99 other times. And so my question for you is, whatever goals, whatever pursuits, whatever dreams you have that God has for you, are you willing to put your perfectionist part of you aside? The fact that you're not going to get it on the first, second, third swing, are you okay with that? Number 2, are you going to have the humility to be able to swing it for 50, 60, 70 times and still see no progress? And lastly, are you willing to swing it 100 times for you to split that rock? Is that something worth doing? And when we apply that to the Bible, when we apply that to our relationship with Jesus Christ, when we apply that to our prayer life, that should be a no-brainer question. I don't care how many times it takes. I don't care how many prayers I need to do. I don't care how many times I need to read my Bible. When I understand that Jesus offers everlasting life, and by grace through faith, I am saved because he died on the cross for my sins and he rose on the third day, that is somebody I want to have a relationship with. And so I don't care how much time it takes. I don't care how much effort it takes. That's somebody I want to have a relationship with. When I understand that reading my Bible, it's not going to take 1, 2, 3 pages for me to be able to understand the full narrative. But the fact that I'm going to need to spend my whole life to be able to press into the word. When I understand the word, I don't have my Bible with me, is the living word of God. That's something worth putting in my time. And when I understand that God listens to my prayers, man, it's okay that I don't feel like praying. It's okay that I'm not sure how to pray or what I'm praying for. The fact that God's there, just present in the moment, is just wild to me. And so even when we don't have it figured out, even when we're unsure of ourselves, even when we start out doing something and we're not the best at it, I just pray that you guys can continue pressing on, and I just pray for endurance. There's this hymn. I grew up in a traditional church, and the song is "Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus." And the chorus goes, "Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace." And so for you, for those goals, for those dreams, for those pursuits that you have your eyes fixed on, can we also make sure that we have our eyes primarily fixed on Jesus? Because having a relationship with Jesus is my dream. Having a relationship with Jesus should be my goal. And he should be my first and foremost, my main pursuit in life. And so, guys, I just pray that you learned something from this video. I pray that God spoke through me in this video. I'm not sure, but I hope this video was something that you could learn from, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love y'all, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace.